they're getting used to celebrating around here in Oakland after NBA playoff games and now NBA Finals games as well. It's an easy 15-point win tonight for the Dubs. They win it 104 to 89 thanks to a heroic night from their bench. Career high, postseason high 20 points from Sean Livingston. Contributions from last year's Finals MVP Andre Iguodala was in double figures. Likewise, Leandro Barbosa, a perfect 5 of 5 from the night. He had 11, and despite 20 points combined from the Splash Brothers, Golden State takes game one, 104 to 89. Post-game coverage right now here on NBA TV. As always, we'll be here after each and every game of the NBA Finals. I'm Matt Weiner. We're inside Oracle Arena, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith, Isiah Thomas, Shaquille O'Neal. 8 championships between the three of them. And fellas, this was an interesting first half, kind of the feeling out process we always talk about. Cavaliers varied up their look from what we've seen most of the postseason. They had Love in the post a lot. LeBron was down below the free throw line, getting to the rim a little bit. But Golden State, with the ball movement, the player movement, the stuff we've talked about over and over again, overwhelmed them in the second half, and in particular during a 21-4, or if you prefer 29-8 run spanning the third and fourth quarters. What did you see tonight, Shaq?
Well, if you were not watching the game and somebody told you Clay had 9 and Stephen had 11, you would assume, oh, well, Cleveland's up 1-0. But the others came and played well tonight. They played great. I think it was the start of the fourth quarter. I was walking back in and I saw Steph and Clay on the bench. Randy Livingston took over, a couple other. Barbosa came and hit 2 shots. When you have a team that has 7 people in double figures, they're definitely going to be, hard to beat. I was talking with Isiah in the back. I don't really understand what Cleveland's trying to do. I don't really like the way they're playing. I know it's game 1, but I think they need to play a little faster in the post. What I mean by that, Kenny, is when you get the ball and wait, it allows the defense to set up, right? If you get it and go quick, you know the double's coming up. Defense is always in rotation mode. Every time you get it and stop the ball and look and, for a guard, make a one-on-one move, the defense is allowed to set up. So I didn't like what I saw tonight out of Cleveland. The guys played good, but you're not going to shoot them shooting 38% from the field. Definitely got to have better shooting percentage. But good game, feel-out game. Cleveland's going to go back and make some adjustments, but 7 guys in double figures, hell of a night. You're not going to beat a lot of teams like that.
I'm going to say this. If Charles was sitting in the middle, right, when we watched OKC, he would say, well, Golden State ain't going to get bigger by tomorrow.
Right.
I don't think Golden State is going to get dumber by tomorrow. Yeah. And the fact to me, I thought overall defensively, and I think it's going to have to be a change in scheme. They outright disrespected everyone else on the team other than Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. They had said, you can't hit open shots.
Yep.
Yes, maybe you can do that against Atlanta. Maybe you can do that against Toronto and do DeRozan and Lowry, but you cannot do this against this team. There are too many guys who can put the ball in the basket that are scorers. Harrison Barnes led the country in scoring as a high schooler and very much close in college. These guys that put the ball in the basket. Andrew Barbosa averaged 18. This guy has scored his whole career. Who I said at the beginning of the series, Draymond Green's going to be the MVP. He's going to be triple-double every night because there's no one who can guard him and stop him from doing what he does. They need Clay and Steph.
Right.
But they don't have to have them in this series. They don't. This is the same against Portland. They didn't need Steph to win against Portland.
Yeah, but what you just said, Kenny, they gave, and what you and Shaq are talking about, the other players who, Cleveland just disrespected. They gave them wide open shots. They gave them good looks. They gave them time to, roll the basketball around. And you talk about Livingston getting to his sweet spot consistently at the foul line. He came off a screen one time, bounced it, got his feet together, ran up and caught it, squared up.
How many would Vinny have in the microwave in a game like this, where they disrespected everyone but you and Joe?
Yeah.
He would probably have 40 tonight.
And you know what, Kenny? To add on to that, for superstars, best type of game, because we don't have to carry the load.
Yep.
The pressure's not on us. guys are performing. We can sit on the bench and, create a double-digit lead. So, if they can continue this for at least 3 more games, I see, Golden State going back-to-back. Because the others, they played well tonight. And, Kenny, you were an other. And I have 4 championships, and all 4 was because of the others. I put my numbers and did what I do, but Derek Fisher hit some big shots. Brian Shaw hit some big shots. Rick Fox hit some big shots. Microwave hit some big shots for you guys. So
the difference with these others, they don't believe they others.
Right.
True.
Vernon Maxwell, Vinnie Johnson, myself, I didn't believe I was an other.
Vinny thought he should be starting every game.
So when you left these guys open, they feel disrespected. They're like, are you kidding me? Like, are you not going to guard me? I could do some of the things that these guys do if I had the opportunity.
Right.
Even though it might not be true, they have this is not the Atlanta Hawks or Toronto where guys don't have all of that confidence or just, I call professional scorers. Yeah. These are professional scorers.
And Matt, you know what else I noticed about Cleveland, right? The way they played during this stretch to get to the finals, they came into this game 1 and played a totally different game than we were accustomed to seeing them play the last 15 to 20 games. What made us also think that, hey, Cleveland's got a chance to win. They came into this series
they got away from some of the isolation stuff, right?
And just played isolation basketball with LeBron James on the post. And then every time down court, they were 5-on-5. There were no transition baskets. There were no easy baskets. And when you look at trying to play against a Golden State Warrior championship team, 5 against 5, where you just throwing it into the post and then kicking it out, waiting for somebody else to make a shot, that's a hard way to make a living against this team.
The post stuff made some sense because of the matchups and moving Kevin Love around, but there weren't a lot of actions beyond that. So there's a lot of standing around, and that's in stark contrast to what we see from Golden State.
And here's the telltale. All right, I'm not going to count Dante Jones, Mo Williams, and these guys. There's 8 shots really from their bench. They only had 8 attempts.
Right.
Not points. Attempts. On contrary, the bench attempts only alone over 30 shots for the bench of Golden State. So we're accustomed to seeing Cleveland bench take more shots. Shannon Fry getting 8 to 9, open looks with Shumpert. None of these guys took over 8 shots collectively.
Shannon Fry, who's been brilliant for the Cavaliers through the postseason, shooting a phenomenal percentage from 3-point range, only got 1 shot. He was a non-factor tonight.
Yeah, Matt, but if you go to the post, I mentioned this earlier, you have to play fast. You just can't pound. Right. You got to make a quick move.
Right.
Defense reacts, then you can kick it out, ball moving, then you can get that shot. If you're just trying to pound, it's not really going to work. It's not really their style. So if they are going to make a conscious effort of going to the post, you have to go make the other team double.
So the Warriors bench outscored the Cavaliers by 35 tonight, 45-10. They picked their poison. We all saw it happen. They were going to take away Steph and Clay to the degree they could. What's the adjustment for game 2 now that you've set this precedent?
I think there needs to be an offensive adjustment made for Cleveland. I mean, the defense, what they did in terms of taking away Curry and Thompson, hey, you can't argue with that. Now, in terms of defending the other role players, you got to get up and defend. But on the offensive side of the ball, you got to get stops, you got to get out and run, and you got to get some easier baskets in transition. And if you're going to play through LeBron James in the post, just as Shaq said, you got to play quicker, you got to make quicker decisions, you got to catch the ball, go, and put pressure on them defensively.
Kenny, did the great Dean Smith always say, play fast but don't take quick shots? Have you ever heard that before?
Be fast but don't hurry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be fast but don't hurry. I think the other thing that you can overreact and say, oh, well, it's only 1 game. And, we've seen teams come back.
Sure.
But there is a philosophy that has to change. These are 2 of the greatest basketball players that ever played. When you see it, if they saw it in game 2, they would be happy again. So it's a philosophy that has to change if you're going to be in this series. Not saying you can't be, but you cannot do the game plan from game 1.
Right. And Golden State's, the way they play, that's the way they played tonight. It was just that different guys had the ball in their hands.
They didn't play well.
Yeah.
They didn't play great.
Right.
But, I mean, they moved the ball. They cut without the ball. They got easy buckets.
Curry missed probably 2 or 3 wide open threes. So imagine if those go in, then we're singing and dancing and confetti's coming down a little bit earlier.
Right. But he and Thompson together, they only took 27 shots between the two of them tonight.
But, Matt, when you play on a team where everybody gets to eat, a.k.a. where everybody touches the ball, everybody will do the dirty work for you, rebound, guys will play harder for you. And then Kenny made a great point. The others for Golden State do not think they're others, and they play like it tonight. So
the other won the MVP last year.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't think he's an other? He won the MVP.
He's also a former All-Star. So
no question.
at one point in his career, he was definitely not another.